Hey class, it's Professor Marino again. And now that you've done our first class assignment, your first homework, you know almost as well as I, maybe better than I, how many times the word moon, moonlight, moonshine, moonbeams comes up in A Midsummer Night's Dream. Beaucoup, a lot, more than 40, all the time. This play is constantly talking about the moon. Um, in fitting with its fictional setting, overnight in the woods outdoors, but also not at all in keeping with its normal performance environment in the middle of the afternoon in Greater London in the 1590s under direct sunlight. In some ways, the repetition of the moon is there to let us hear and imagine that night that is not visible to the eye. Like Theseus, we have to piece out the imperfections. We have to complete the theatrical experience by adding our own imaginations. More to the point, you should expect Shakespeare to do this all the time. One of the things that holds A Midsummer Night's Dream together as a piece of writing is the repeated use of the same image or a similar part of a cluster of images over and over and over again. Our characters might inhabit kind of different worlds and kind of different intellectual universes. It's very hard to see how Nick Bottom and Duke Theseus belong together in the same play or even in the same world, let alone in Athens together. But they all got the moon on their brain. They all got the moon, more importantly, in their mouths. Their language all is about the moon. This is a standard Shakespeare trick. Watch for him to do it over and over again. He will, in a particular play, pick a few particular words or images and bring them back over and over again. This is a way of creating a sense of unity. You don't notice it. The first time you read Midsummer Night's Dream, you didn't notice that consciously how many times they were bringing up the moon. That's why I made you do the scavenger hunt. But it happens. Now, if you do the same thing to all of Shakespeare's other plays, is it like Shakespeare is obsessed with the moon? No, not particularly. This play is obsessed with the moon. Other plays will be obsessed with other words and other images, but he uses those key images as a thread to hold a piece of writing together. And it helps us feel it creates a unifying feeling as we read or watch, even if we're not consciously aware of it. More importantly, Shakespeare won't just pick any word. He'll pick a word or an image that has a bunch of different shades of meaning, and he will turn and rotate that word or that image over and over again in all kinds of different ways. If you go through all those different references to the moon, you will see they have all kinds of different emotional relationships to the moon. It's positive, it's negative, it's beautiful, it's frightening, it's a source of barrenness, it's the governess of floods, it's something happy. We're ill met by moonlight, well met by moonlight. It's happening all the time. And the play becomes a kind of ongoing essay in all the kinds of meaning you can squeeze out of that one image. We will talk about some of those forms of meaning in our Zoom class if we haven't already. We will do it in a Zoom before all this is over and before we move on to Taming the Shrew. The lesson is he's going to keep doing this. Be on the lookout.